Hey everyone, ready to dive into some really practical financial tips with me today?
Let's do it.
We've got a whole bunch of them here, and we're going to try to find the ones that are really going to make a difference in your life. Help you save more, maybe earn a little extra on the side.
I'm excited to break them all down.
Okay, so let's start with something I think we can all relate to: car insurance. I don't know about you, but I'm definitely guilty of just kind of blindly hitting renew every year. It's not exactly the most exciting part of managing your money.
It's not the most fun, that's for sure, but it's one of those things where a little effort can really pay off.
For real. So we found this tip about Inserify, and they're saying people can save like almost $1,000 a year just by comparing car insurance quotes. Is it really that easy?
Well, it's not magic, but it's a good reminder that it pays to shop around. You wouldn't buy the first plane ticket you see without checking other airlines or dates, right?
Yeah.
Car insurance, it's kind of the same idea.
Okay, that makes sense. But what about all the hassle of switching? I always dread dealing with that.
I hear you, but that's the beauty of these online platforms like Insurify that kind of do the heavy lifting for you. Gather quotes, compare coverage so you can see all your options in one place.
So you don't have to spend hours on the phone with different insurance agents.
Exactly.
Okay, so maybe it's time I finally check that out. $996, that's a decent chunk of change.
Right. Think what you could do with an extra $1,000.
Exactly. Okay, so we've tackled car insurance. Let's talk about something a little more exciting: real estate. We found this tip about Fundrise that caught my eye. They're saying you can become a real estate investor for just $10. $10.
Yeah, it sounds crazy, right?
Is this for real?
It is, but there's a little more to it than just handing over a $10 bill and, instantly becoming a real estate tycoon.
Okay, so how does it actually work then?
So Fundrise, they focus on something called REITs, R-E-I-Ts, real estate investment trusts. Basically, it's like pooling your money with a bunch of other investors, and that pool is used to buy and manage properties.
So instead of needing hundreds of thousands of dollars to buy a property yourself, you're basically buying a tiny piece of a much bigger pie.
Exactly. And the cool thing is, that pie is usually sliced up into a bunch of different properties, apartments, office buildings, even those giant warehouses you see popping up everywhere. So your risk is spread out.
That makes sense. Diversification, right?
Exactly. And another plus is Fundrise handles all the messy stuff, finding tenants, collecting rent, all that. You don't have to be a landlord.
Oh, thank goodness.
So it's not quite as simple as $10 and you're a real estate mogul. But it's a pretty cool way to get started in real estate without needing a ton of cash up front.
Okay, I'm intrigued. But let's be real, real estate investing always seemed kind of out of reach for me.
And that's exactly why platforms like Fundrise are interesting. They're kind of breaking down those barriers and making it possible for more people to invest, even if you don't have a ton of money to start with.
Interesting. Okay, so we've talked about ways to potentially save money and maybe even grow our wealth a bit. But now let's talk about something that can be a major source of stress: debt. Specifically, credit card debt.
Definitely an important topic and unfortunately a big one for a lot of people. Those high interest rates can really make you feel stuck.
Seriously, we saw that some credit cards charge interest rates as high as 36%. That's insane.
It's crazy, right? And it's designed to keep you trapped in that cycle of debt.
So what can you do if you're feeling overwhelmed by credit card debt? We found this tip about a company called Amerian, and they say they can help you consolidate your debt with a lower interest loan. What does that even mean?
So imagine it like this. You've got all these different credit cards with different balances and different interest rates, right? Debt consolidation is basically taking out one new loan to pay off all those other cards.
Okay, so instead of juggling multiple cards, you just have one payment.
Exactly. And the goal is to get that new loan with a lower interest rate than what you're paying on your credit cards. So you'd end up saving money on interest and hopefully paying off your debt faster.
That sounds like a good deal, but do you need perfect credit to qualify for one of these consolidation loans?
That's a common question.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily need perfect credit. One, they specialize in working with people who have a range of credit histories. So even if your credit's not great, it might still be worth looking into.
Okay, so there's hope even if you've, had a few bumps in the road credit-wise.
Exactly.
All right, so we've covered saving money, investing, tackling debt, a lot of heavy stuff. Let's talk about something a little more fun: making some extra cash.
Everyone loves a good side hustle, right?
Absolutely, especially these days. So we came across this tip about free cash, and they're saying you can actually earn money online by doing simple tasks. Is this legit, Or is it too good to be true?
It's understandable to be a little skeptical, but it's not as far-fetched as it might seem.
Okay, I'm listening.
Companies are always looking for information about what people like, what they're interested in, and they're willing to pay for it, even if it's just a small amount. That's kind of the whole idea behind this data economy thing you hear about.
Okay, so like those online surveys I always ignore, someone's actually getting paid to do those.
Yeah, pretty much. Free cash and platforms like it, they're like the middleman, connecting you with those companies. You might take surveys, watch videos, test out apps, stuff like that.
Huh, interesting. So not exactly a get-rich-quick scheme, but maybe a way to make a few extra bucks in your spare time?
Precisely. Think of it like instead of scrolling through social media for an hour, you could be earning a little something while you're at it.
I like the sound of that.
Exactly. And every little bit helps, right?
Right. Okay, so we've talked about car insurance, real estate, credit card debt, even making some side income online. But what about those everyday expenses that we just can't seem to escape? Like internet bills, those are always killing me.
I feel ya. Internet bills are definitely up there on the list of necessary evils.
For real. Speaking of which, we saw this tip about Metro by T-Mobile, and they're offering affordable, high-speed internet. I have to admit, though, I'm always a little hesitant to switch internet providers. It always seems like a huge hassle.
Yeah, I get it. The whole process can be a pain. But here's the interesting thing about Metro by T-Mobile. They're kind of known for keeping things simple and straightforward, which is refreshing in the world of internet providers.
So no hidden fees or contracts, because that's always my biggest fear.
They say no contracts and no hidden fees, and they even offer to help cover those pesky termination fees if you're switching from another provider.
Wow, really? They'll actually pay to get you out of your current contract. That's pretty impressive.
It is. It seems like they're really trying to disrupt the industry and attract customers with transparency and simplicity.
I like their style.
Yeah.
And maybe a little competition in the internet world is just what we need, right?
Right. Maybe it'll lead to better deals for everyone.
Fingers crossed. Okay, so we might be able to save some money on our internet bills, but what about making the most of the money we do have?
You're talking about savings accounts, right?
Yeah. Are high-yield savings accounts really all they're cracked up to be? Because honestly, I always assumed they were only for people with a lot of money.
I think that's a common misconception. High-yield savings accounts can be a good option for anyone who wants to earn more interest on their savings, no matter how much they have.
Okay, so break it down for me. What exactly is a high-yield savings account? And how is it different from a regular savings account?
The main difference is the interest rate. Traditional savings accounts, they typically offer these ridiculously low interest rates, like barely anything.
Yeah, you're lucky if you earn a few cents in interest each month.
Seriously.
Yeah.
But high-yield savings accounts, they offer much higher interest rates, often several times higher than the national average.
Okay, so more interest equals more money in my pocket. Got it. But what's the catch?
Honestly, with reputable financial institutions, there isn't really a catch. High-yield savings accounts, they're still FDIC insured, just like traditional savings accounts, so your money is protected.
Okay, good to know. So my money's safe, and I'm earning more interest. Sounds like a pretty sweet deal to me.
Exactly. It's a win-win. You get to earn a better return on your savings without taking on a lot of risk.
This is definitely making me rethink where I park my emergency fund.
Right. It's always a good idea to see if you can make your money work harder for you.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've covered car insurance, real estate investing, credit card debt, even dipped our toes into online earning and high-yield savings accounts. We've covered a lot of ground today.
We have, and we're just getting started. There are so many more financial tips and strategies out there waiting to be discovered.
Well, I'm ready for more. But first, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back with more insights to help you level up your financial game.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm ready to uncover some more financial gems.
You too, let's dive back in. Before the break, we were talking about high-yield savings accounts, and specifically, this one from Capital One 360 that caught our eye. They're advertising a 4.1% APY, which sounds pretty amazing.
It's definitely a competitive rate, and it highlights the importance of understanding APY, annual percentage yield.
Right, because that tells you how much interest you're actually earning in a year, right?
Exactly. It factors in the compounding effect, which is where things get really interesting.
Compounding. Okay, tell me more about that.
So imagine you put $1,000 in a savings account. With a traditional savings account, you might earn like $5 in interest after a year. But with a high-yield account like this one from Capital One 360, with that 4.90% APY, you're looking at closer to $40 in interest. It's a huge difference.
Wow, $40 versus $5. That really puts it into perspective.
Right. And the longer you leave your money in there, the more that interest compounds. So it's like earning interest on your interest.
It's like free money just for saving.
Exactly. And the best part is, with Capital One 360, you get that high yield potential, along with the peace of mind of knowing your money is FDIC insured.
You mentioned FDIC insurance earlier. Can you refresh our memory on what that means exactly?
Sure. FDIC stands for Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation,
Yeah.
and it basically protects your deposits up to $250,000, even if something were to happen to the bank.
Okay, so that's a big deal. So with an FDIC insured account, I don't have to worry about losing my money if the bank goes under or something.
Exactly. Your money is safe and sound.
That's a relief to hear. Okay, so high-yield savings accounts sound like a no-brainer for anyone looking to earn more on their savings.
They're definitely worth considering.
Okay, so we've talked about saving, but let's circle back to earning. Before the break, we were discussing free cash and these online earning opportunities.
Right. Turning your downtime into dollar signs.
Exactly. So for those of us who are intrigued but maybe a little skeptical, can you give us the lowdown on free cash? What is it and how does it work?
So basically, Free Cash is a platform that connects you with companies that are willing to pay for your opinions, your feedback, even just your time. They have all sorts of tasks you can do, taking surveys, watching videos, testing out apps, even playing games.
Okay, so it's not like you're going to get rich quick, but it could be a way to earn a little something extra here and there.
Exactly. Think of it like a modern-day rewards program.
I like that.
You're already spending time online anyway, so why not get rewarded for it?
That's a good point. But let's be real, are people actually making money with this?
That's a fair question. Free Cash claims to have paid out over $13 million to its users, which suggests it's not a scam.
$13 million. Okay, that's a decent amount of money.
Right. And while you're not going to be able to quit your day job, it could be a fun way to earn some extra cash in your spare time.
I'm always down for a little extra cash.
Mm.
Okay, so we've got free cash on our radar. What other online earning opportunities are out there?
Well, we also came across Inbox Dollars, which is another platform that's been around for a while and has a pretty good reputation.
Inbox dollars. I've heard of them, but I'll admit I don't know much about them.
They're similar to Free Cash in that they offer a variety of ways to earn rewards, which you can then redeem for cash or gift cards. You can take surveys, watch videos, read emails, even shop online and earn cashback rewards.
Wait, hold on. Did you say you can get paid to shop?
Yep, you heard that right. It's called cashback rewards. Basically, Inbox Dollars partners with different retailers, and when you make a purchase through their platform, you get a percentage of your spending back in rewards.
That's pretty cool. I'm all about saving money while I shop. So how do I know if Inbox dollars is legit?
They claim to have paid out over $56 million to their members so far, which is a pretty compelling number.
$56 million. Okay, they've got my attention now.
Like with any online platform, it's always smart to do your research and read reviews, but it seems like Inbox Dollars has a decent track record.
That's good to hear. I'm definitely going to have to check them out.
I think it's worth exploring.
Okay, so we've got free cash and Inbox dollars in our arsenal of potential side hustles.
It's all about finding what works for you and your lifestyle.
Absolutely. So to wrap up this segment on online earning, what's the key takeaway you want our listeners to remember?
Don't be afraid to think outside the box and explore these unconventional earning opportunities. You might be surprised at what you can achieve with a little creativity and effort.
I love that. Embrace the side hustle.
Exactly. Every little bit helps.
Okay, let's take a moment to recap all the financial wisdom we've covered today and really drive home those key takeaways.
All right, ready to bring it all home?
I am. We've covered a ton of ground today, everything from car insurance to side hustles.
It's been a whirlwind of financial tips and tricks.
So as we wrap up, what are the key takeaways you want our listeners to remember?
You know, I think the most important thing is to realize that taking control of your finances doesn't have to be this big, scary thing. It's not about becoming a financial expert overnight. It's about those small, everyday choices that can really add up over time.
Right. It's about progress, not perfection.
Exactly. And it's about finding what works for you. Not every financial tip is going to be a perfect fit for everyone's situation.
Totally. We've talked about a lot of different strategies today, from high-yield savings accounts to those online earning platforms.
It can be a lot to take in. The key is to focus on the things that resonate with you, the things that you can actually see yourself implementing in your own life.
Right. Pick one or two things to focus on first, and then go from there.
Exactly. Don't try to do everything at once. You'll just overwhelm yourself.
And remember, knowledge is power. The more you learn about personal finance, the more confident you'll feel making decisions about your money.
Absolutely. Don't be afraid to ask questions, do your research, and keep learning as you go.
So true. So to wrap up today's episode, I want to leave our listeners with this thought. You are in control of your financial future. It's easy to feel like you're at the mercy of your circumstances, but the truth is, you have more power than you think to make a change.
I love that. You are the CEO of your own financial life.
Exactly. So take charge, make a plan, and start building the financial future you deserve.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And on that note, we're out of time for today. Thanks for joining us for another deep dive into the world of personal finance. Until next time, see you then.